June 29th, 2017, and we have several people who are going to be here to greet you this morning. Our fire is at 24,828 acres, and with that, I'm going to introduce Todd Abel, one of our section chiefs from the incident management team. Todd?
Good morning, everybody. My name is Todd Abel. I'm one of the operations section chiefs for the Type 1 incident management team here managing the Goodwin Fire. I want to give you guys a quick update on what we're doing and how we're looking on the fire. And I'll probably just start on the south end and work my way around the fire to give everybody an update. So starting on the south end down here, basically what we've done there is we've had crews down in there for the last 3 or 4 days conducting firing operations along the road systems down there. What they're doing there is they're kind of herding that fire into the old Gladiator fire scar and to the old SA fire scar that sits off to the east there. So they're just kind of herding that fire in there. What that does for us is it gives us an opportunity to go in and grab that. Lighter fuels, obviously they've been burnt off. Makes it a lot easier for firefighters to get a handle on that. As you come up the east side here on the Mayor and 69 corridor there, things are looking really good. When it made that big run, it kind of hit up against Highway 69 and gave us a good solid buffer to work off of. So we've been working real hard in there to make sure that that stays where it's at. Back behind the town of Mayor, in this location here, they the dozer line we put in behind the town and then burnt off of a couple days ago has held. It's looking really good in there. So we're very comfortable that that's going to stay where it's at. The slop over that went across Highway 69 ran off to that direction. Yesterday, crews were able to get in there and get dozer line, hand line, and cold trail. What I mean by cold trailing is they're able to actually get their hands on the ground and make sure that there's no hot embers there. They got all the way around that yesterday, and that's been secured, and we're feeling really good about that. We'll continue to watch that and make sure that that doesn't go anywhere. If you come up to the north side, that's where some of the work will be done for the next couple days. That fire did back down through that drainage in there, the Poland Junction Road that goes up to Breezy Pines. So it backed down through that drainage and spotted over the road. That spot that went over the road is a concern for us, but it's very little fire activity on it. So the plan today is to get some hotshot crews in there and go direct on that. They'll be right on fire's edge, putting in hand line or whatever they can to keep that where it's at. So that's looking pretty good. As you kind of come over to the west side, northwest side, and along the west side, that's where a lot of work, a lot of scouting is going to be done today. We're going to take a look at options on road systems, using dozer lines, anything we can to kind of secure that side. We've got an opportunity today from the weather we had yesterday. The weather gave us a break yesterday, so it allowed us to get in and do a lot of hard work in there yesterday. We're going to continue that today. Hopefully we can button up closer to this fire, more of a direct approach to keep that fire where it sits. We are still working to the north here, what we call a contingency group. Basically what they're doing is they're putting in dozer line, finding road systems, preparing that for if the fire does want to move any more to the north, we have containment lines in place that we can keep that diverted out of all those values at risk, which would be the structures, infrastructure, anything that's of value to the local public and to us obviously too. So we're still looking to the north there to take care of that stuff. As we push down even a little bit further here, we're going to put a bunch more resources in this area to make sure we can get that buttoned up a lot quicker than we could in the past. We are able to get a lot of resources in the last couple days to help us with that. The last thing I'd like to end with, I want to talk a little bit about unmanned aircraft, drones. We had an intrusion into our fire area yesterday, and I want to give you an example why it's so important that the public not fly unmanned aircraft or drones in the fire area. When you look up into what we call the Breezy Pines area, there's a bunch of structures in there. When that fire went through there yesterday, it put fire next to some of those structures. And what we were doing yesterday to keep fire from getting to those structures is we were using bucket work from the helicopters to drop water on those hot spots so that it wouldn't get to those structures and cause damage. We had a drone intrusion yesterday, so what happened is we had to go shut down all the aircraft. They had to leave the area, go land, and could not help the firefighters from keeping fire from impacting those structures. After the drone intrusion was kind of taken care of and everybody was back normal, we were able to pull the helicopters back up and continue that work. But what that did for our firefighters is it puts them in an unsafe position where they may have to go into an area that is unsafe for them instead of using helicopters. So I just highly recommend that the public keep those drones out of the fire area. Thank you.
Todd, do you think you'll make an improvement on containment today?
Yes, I do. I think you'll see that number change today. We're looking at what we've done along the 69 corridor around Mayor, all that stuff. You'll see a change in the containment status today.
What do we know about structures burned?
We're still assessing the structures burned. We don't have a good handle on that. That's another big project today to look into some of those areas where those structures were threatened or damaged, and we're going to go in and start assessing that.
But can you confirm that there has been some structural damage?
There has been damage to structures. I don't know if they're primary residence, outbuildings, garages, barns. That's what we're going to start assessing today.
How do you feel about winds today?
Especially in Mayor, when do you think they'll be able to return?
You should hear on that here in a second. Somebody will come up and answer about the repopulation of Mayor.
What winds today? What are you expecting, and how is that going to impact the fight?
Winds are going to be down today. We're looking at 10 to 12 mile per hour winds today, which will help the firefighters. That's what caused all those issues the days prior to, is the wind driven, along with the 45-year-old brush that had burned. So,
when do you think the folks around the Mayor area will be able to go back home?
There should be an announcement here shortly from the sheriff's office.
What
You
about
said the drone
personnel
situation
fighting?
was taken care of yesterday. Was there an arrest of an individual operating that drone?
And when I talked about the drone and it being taken care of, basically what happened is we had to mobilize a bunch of the sheriff's office folks, law enforcement, to go around and try to find out who was flying that drone or spot the drone along with the firefighters, knowing to find the person who was doing it, and the drone didn't leave.
I'm sorry, how did the drone...
I saw a number this morning saying July 4th, midnight, possible containment. Is that still a possibility?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a possibility. Once again, once we get through today, we can reassess where we're looking at that big picture and when we would finally call this contained and move on. So
What about personnel? Are we still talking about 1,000?
Yeah, we still have all those personnel on scene that are here now. We ordered a lot of resources with the big fire growth that we had. We're still keeping them around for at least another day or two to see how this fire reacts in the next couple of days.
Any update on the source of this fire?
No, it's still under investigation.
How long were still off in that area?
Yeah, there's still power. Where we actually have fire impacting those power lines, they're still off for the safety of the firefighters.
How long did the drone hamper fire activity?
I would probably say a good 45 minutes,
Okay.
maybe an hour.
And that was yesterday afternoon?
Yes, yesterday afternoon.
And how did you get that drone out of the air?
Whoever was flying
Brought
it
it down.
left the area, and we couldn't track it down.
So you're feeling good?
Yes, we're feeling good about today. Yesterday was a very good day. We got that break in the weather. It was anticipated that we were supposed to have the same weather from the day before and the same fire behavior. Our fire behavior analysis and our IMET, the weather guy, kind of reran some numbers, and again, what helped us was the RHs were up and the dew points were up. Those will be back down today, but with no wind. We won't have the wind we had the last couple of days.
We know there was a minor injury to a firefighter. Were there any other injuries yesterday?
No, none of any time loss type of stuff.
With burnout operations that you guys are going to do today, the public's going to see a lot of smoke, and it's not going to be a concern.
No, and there won't be a whole bunch of firing operations today. We've kind of buttoned up the south end and pushed it into the old fire scars. Today is going to be a big day of scouting to try to close that box up, get a little tighter, and keep the fire where it's at.
You talked about 45 minutes of the drone hampering the firefight. Can you talk about the importance of that time? It's like every second is important for you guys.
Yes, it is. I'll give like an example I gave you about the fire around the structures we were dealing with. It was in a very heavy vegetation area, so without that help with those guys, that stuff just continues to grow in intensity and heat, and we have to put people in bad spots to try to keep it out of out of the structure, if safely, if we know we can get those folks out if something did go bad. So that's why we use those helicopters to help us with that, to actually give us water to work with. And for 45 minutes to an hour, we were unable to do that.
In closing into that fire, you mentioned fire crews were going to be on the line pretty close. What are the safety issues there with the type of work you've been seeing? I know you expect for it to be kind of an erratic.
Yeah.
Have a way out.
Yes, we would never put firefighters in a location where they can't get out or get to a safe spot. And an example would be this country right in here. This is burned. It's all black. It won't burn again. So if crews are working in this area, they can go right into the black and be out of harm's way. So we won't engage anybody into spots where we think fire could run and cause injuries to firefighters without what we call a safety zone, a place they can go to be safe, or back into the black we also consider a safety zone.
We're on the eve of the Yarnell anniversary, and what is going through your firefighters' minds knowing that we're coming up to that?
What I will tell you, obviously it's on every firefighter's mind. The Dewey Fire and also the Yarnell Hill Fire were both in Arizona this time of year. But what I can tell you about that, the last 2 weeks of June are a very heads-up time frame for wildland firefighters. This is where we get extreme fire behavior like we've seen the last few days on the start of this fire, and we get that all over the Southwest, Region 3, which is Arizona and New Mexico. So this time of year, the firefighters definitely are heads up.
All right, thanks, Todd. Our next briefer will be Lieutenant Frank Barbero from the Yavapai County Sheriff's Office.
Good morning. The evacuation for the community of Mayer will be lifted as of 10 o'clock today. There still will be significant road closures in the area. Highway 69 will be closed from milepost 272 north to the intersections of Highway 69 and 169. So anybody that has access to Mayer, that'll have to be done through Highway 169 and I-17. Following communities remain under mandatory evacuation: Pine Flat, Breezy Pines, Poland Junction, Chauncey Ranch Road, Mountain Union, Walker, Upper Blue Hills, Potato Patch, Dewey west of State Route 69, and Mountain Pine Acres.
What does Dewey west of Highway 69 mean?
That would be the Blue Hills area and where Kachina Drive is, and west of that.
So if you're on just this side of Kachina, you don't have to go?
Not, if you're on the west side of Highway 69, you'd have to. That's a mandatory evacuation for this side.
And I just want to know the time this morning, correct?
10 o'clock this morning.
West is our east.
It doesn't include the country club.
The country club is not involved in this.
What do people have to show to prove that they are residents of the Mayer area, and is it only open to residents?
No, the area will be open to everyone.
Any structures damaged in that area?
We're still working with fire on that, and we're out there assessing it right now.
Any pre-evacuation notices that
Nothing
are new?
Is the east side of 69 and Dewey still on pre-evacuation?
Yes.
If the residents can return home at 10 a.m., is the power still going to be off? Is that what they're going for?
No, the power's on.
Power is back on.
Power's on in that area.
Okay.
So Kachina towards 17 is still Dewey, can't go in. Is that how I understand it? Dewey, Kachina towards 17.
Yes, Kachina is still closed.
That's still closed.
Yes, sir.
That's what you call it west.
Yes.
But Lefty's restaurant is open.
Okay, well, thank
It may be helpful to go over the evacuations one more time. Is that possible?
Yes, ma'am. So currently, right now, the community of Pine Flats, Breezy Pines, and Poland Junction, those are all off of Poland Road. Those are evacuated. Chauncey Ranch Road, which is south of Mayer, Mountain Union, Walker and the Upper Blue Hills, Potato Patch, and Dewey west of State Route 69.
These are all the same from last night?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there's been no changes.
Okay.
Do you know how many people are evacuated at this point, if we don't count Mayer?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Our final briefer will be from Governor Busey's office, Patrick.
is Patrick Attack.
Stand in front of him.
Sure. I'm with the governor's staff, and I just wanted to give you a quick rundown of the governor's day today. Yesterday, the governor declared a state of emergency for Yavapai County. Today, he's going to be flying into the Prescott area around 12:30. Following that, at about 1:30, he's going to receive a briefing at the command center behind us from incident and state and fire officials. Following the briefing, he's going to do a tour of the evacuation center, which is at the high school down the road. That'll be at 2:20. And then after that tour of the evacuation center and meeting with the residents who are staying there, there's going to be a press conference right outside the evacuation center, and that's going to be at 3:30. So we encourage you all to come to that press conference. He will be joined by other states and incident leaders, and I'm sure there'll be more information about what's going on. So we encourage you all to be there.
What time is he touring the evacuation center?
The tour for the evacuation center is at 2:20.
20. And when he's being briefed, cameras aren't going to be there for that, or how does that work?
We can get you more details on that. I think we're going to try and pool the coverage.
Okay.
But we'll get you more details.
Do you mean the evacuation center at the Red Cross shelter at the high school?
Yes, it's going to be at Bradshaw Mountain High.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Great. Let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I neglected to mention earlier that we are at approximately 800 firefighters assigned to the incident right now, and we remain.
Might say that again. Thank you.
I neglected to mention we are at 800 firefighters assigned to the fire now, approximately, and 1% containment. But as Todd said a little bit earlier, we expect that percent containment to increase. That concludes our briefing. Thank you for